Hello, I'm Peter Von Niesen from Kootenai Extreme Hunting Adventures. Today I'd like to show you a portable deck you can put in the back of your truck and attach your winch to. At the beginning I'll show you some of the modifications that I've made, and in the middle I'll show you what I started out with. At the end of this video I'll show you a clip of pulling up a white-tailed deer with it with no problem. I did manage to pull a full elk into the back of the truck with absolutely no problem at all. Fortunately, I didn't have my camera at the time and I wasn't able to film it. If you end up liking the video, please hit the like button. And if this is your first time joining us, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can join us on all our adventures through hunting season this year and a lot of the wildlife that we capture throughout the year. What we have here is a top view of the winch deck. It's made up of 3/4 inch plywood on the top, a 2x6 on each side, and at the end closest to the cab it's made up of a 6x6 to add some weight to it. I left the middle open so that if you have any ramps that you want to use to pull up the animal into the truck, you can store it underneath. I do use 2 short pieces of 2x6 that I put in the middle to add a little bit of stability when you're hauling an animal up, but those can be stored underneath pretty easily. On the end of the deck, closest to the tailgate, I've cut 2 pieces of metal and drilled holes in the tops of them that'll fit a trailer hitch pin. On the bottom, I fasten them to the side of the 2x6s with 2 bolts, as you can see underneath here. These allow you to quickly attach and detach the fulcrum point, which keeps the cable from rubbing into your tailgate as you're hauling the animal up. This is a quick view of everything set up here before I show you how I managed to attach everything to the deck. This is the end of the deck that's closest to the cab of the truck, where your winch will be mounted. To lay this out, I use the bottom plate of the winch that I have picked up. The 4 middle holes that you'll see on the plate are the holes that you want to drill out. I recommend just drilling out 1 hole at a time, and when your hole is drilled out, stick a piece of ready rod that's just long enough to go through the 6x6 and through the plate. For the 3 remaining holes, go through the exact same process, drilling a hole and putting 1 piece of ready rod in, and then putting the plate over top. This will ensure a perfect fit. This year I added a couple eye hooks to each side of the 6x6 and one on top of the 6x6, and pre-cut some chain to hold everything in place inside the truck. Previously, I didn't have any chain to tie everything back into the truck, so I actually used ratchet straps, which everybody pretty much has. These are all the little accessories I have, and I just store for when I need them. When you go to attach your winch to your deck, I usually keep 2 nuts on the front and back pieces of ready rod. Those protect the threads during the rest of the year when you're not using them. You can't actually get nuts on the other 2 side pieces of ready rod. They're just there more to secure it in place so it doesn't move. I made this winch setup this way so that it's easy to install and take apart. Keep your winch stored in the cab of your truck so it's less likely to get stolen while you're out hunting in the woods away from your vehicle. As you can see here, it's pretty quick to use the trailer hitch pins to attach your fulcrum to the back of your winch deck. This will keep the cable from grinding into the back of your tailgate as you're hauling an animal back up into the truck. Once this is finished, this is where you're going to set the angle of your fulcrum. And you do this by attaching the ratchet straps or chain, whatever you have, to the middle part of the fulcrum, and you tie it back to the tie downs that are in the back of your pickup truck. This process doesn't take very long, but I managed to speed it up considerably by going to my local hardware store and just getting some chain and cutting it to the lengths that I needed. 1 for the fulcrum point to set the angle, and 2 more for the end of the 6x6 so I could anchor them into place with the tie downs that are in the back of the pickup truck. One recommendation that I would make is making sure that you cut your winch deck a couple inches shorter than the length of your box. This will allow it to slide a little bit as you're hauling a heavy animal in until your chains that are anchored into your tie downs in the back of the pickup tighten up. If you don't do this and your anchor points that are in your 6x6 going to your tie downs in the back of the truck are left too long, the deck could slide back a little bit too far and you won't be able to get your tailgate closed with that heavy animal on top. Before I had 2 short chains holding the deck in place in the back of the pickup truck, I actually just used a ratchet strap and fastened it however I could, just to keep the deck from sliding. To run power to your winch, all I have is a long set of jumper cables, and I just run them over to the power box that comes with your winch that you would normally wire into your quad. All I did here was I took a couple battery clamps and squished them flat and then attached them to the positive and negative terminals of the power box. One improvement I'm going to make this year is I'm going to lengthen out that yellow and blue wire, which are the power supply to the winch. I'll have it so everything sits flat on the ground. One other thing that may seem obvious, but I should say anyway, is don't forget to leave your truck running. Last thing you want to do is run your battery dead as you're winching up your animal. As you can see in this next clip here, I had no problems pulling this white-tailed deer up onto the truck. You can use timbers, quad ramps, whatever makes it easier to get that angle and slide the animal right into the box of your truck. There was no problem getting an elk in there, and if I get another one this fall and I'm lucky enough to get it close to the road where I can pull it into the truck, I'll post another video of that. Hopefully this project will help some people out. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can join us again on more of our hunting adventures.